In every early childhood education setting, teachers and caregivers struggle to combat undesired behaviors. Teachers are constantly taking classes, having meetings, and spending much of their free time trying to learn how to deal with toy struggles, aggression, and hitting in their classroom. As a preschool teacher myself, I've taken countless classes on the subject, and I can't even tell you how many times I've found myself asking, what do I do in this situation? Though any method for combating undesired behaviors is easier said than done, I have a few methods that are proven to reduce these undesired behaviors while simultaneously teaching children prosocial behaviors. Before I go into detail about these methods, I would like to provide you with a few definitions first. First is prosocial behaviors. Prosocial behaviors are helpful actions that are intended to benefit others without receiving any type of direct gratitude. This type of behavior could be demonstrated by sharing, helping, volunteering, and donating. Antisocial behaviors, on the other hand, are disruptive actions that are contrary to norms or the rules. This could be toy taking, hitting, or any of those previously mentioned behaviors that teachers try so hard to combat. Now that I have provided you with those few definitions, I am going to teach you how to teach prosocial behaviors in a childhood education setting with the few methods that I learned in my extensive research on the subject. For any method to be as effective as possible, the teacher must start by first prompting their students. Prompting is the method used to encourage students to use prosocial behaviors. For example, the teacher might say, "It's polite to share when your friends ask you nicely," or "If you want the toy, you should ask for it." Prompting is important because it increases the likelihood that the child will perform the prosocial behaviors, and this also makes the children aware of the expectations right from the start. In a study done in 1997 by the University of Kansas, prompting was shown to decrease aggression and toy taking and increase turn taking and prosocial behaviors, even in children that were not prompted directly. This method does require teachers to spend more time observing and reminding children of the rules. However, it is proven to be effective and worth the very small amount of work that it takes. Contagious observation, or the sit-and-watch method, is a method that is used to directly combat these antisocial behaviors as they occur. When a child displays an undesired behavior, the teacher must follow a step-by-step process. First, the teacher will briefly describe why the behavior was not appropriate and what the child should have done in the situation instead. Second, remove the child from the activity and instruct them to sit and watch how the other children display the appropriate behaviors. Third, after the child has been waiting for the appropriate amount of time, the teacher will ask the child if they are ready to return to the activity, and once the child says they are, they will be allowed to return. This step absolutely requires that the child gives you a positive response. If the child says they are not ready to return to the activity, they probably are not ready to return to the activity. When the child returns to the activity, the teacher gives the student positive attention and praises the child for performing the desired behaviors. In another study done by the University of Kansas, this method was proven to reduce the amount of disruptive behaviors from the children in the classroom and was proven to be more effective than the preferred methods. In a classroom, this is how this would play out. A few students would be playing in the same area, and one student gets impatient and snatches the toy from the other child. The teacher would then approach the child and say, "We ask our friends for toys when we want them. We don't just take them." And then the child would have to sit and watch the other children share and cooperate. After about 30 to 40 seconds, the teacher asks the child, "Are you ready to share with your friends the right way?" And the child would say yes, so the teacher would let the child return to the activity. When the child returned to the activity and asked the other child to play with the toy, the teacher would say, "Good job for using your words to share," and move on. If the child in this situation were to say no, they are not ready to share, they would have to continue to wait until they give the teacher a positive response. It is important to use positive language when speaking to your students. In the example, the teacher said, "We ask our friends for toys when we want them. We don't just snatch them," instead of "Don't just snatch toys." This doesn't help the child understand what they are supposed to do in place of what they are not supposed to do. I also personally like to call my kids friend. I want them to know that I am not working against them. I am trying to help them, even when they are in trouble. When they ask me why I call them friend, I tell them because we are. Tutoring is a way that teachers could help their students help each other be encouraged to demonstrate prosocial behaviors. The word tootling is a word play on the phrase tooting your own horn and the word tattling. With tootling, students report their peers' prosocial behaviors, kind of like tattling, but students are trying to catch their peers doing good things rather than inappropriate things. The students go throughout the day reporting their peers for positive actions. The students write their reports on a piece of paper and deliver it to the designated area for all the toodles. At the end of the day, the teacher reads out all the toodles and delivers the appropriate praise for each. When the class racks up a certain amount of toodles, let's say 100 toodles, the teacher gives an incentive is rewarded to the class. The incentive could be extra recess or a pizza party or anything that makes the class feel good about what they did. A study done by the Department of Theory and Practice in Teacher Education at the University of Tennessee showed that tootling increased the number of prosocial behaviors in the children in the classroom and heavily minimized the disruptive behaviors. Tootling also reduces the amount of tattling throughout the day because the students would be trying to catch each other doing good things rather than bad things, therefore looking more for the positives within each other. As a teacher in my own classroom, I spend a lot of time responding to my kids telling me every little thing that they think that their peers are not supposed to be doing. And I do more time correcting minor infractions, which takes away from my time to deliver more praise to my students, which is better for their self-esteem. Just as each method must start with prompting, they must end with contingent praise and tangible consequences. Contingent praise is the praising of a child following an instance of prosocial behavior. In the earlier scenario, the teacher saying, "Good job for using your words to share," was an example of contingent praise. Tangible consequences are incentives and reward systems that should be presented after several instances of prosocial behavior. And in tootling, when the teacher gives the class a reward for receiving 100 toodles, that is an example of a tangible consequences. These are small tokens of gratitude that each child needs to feel as if their prosocial behaviors and actions that have no benefit to them is worth it in some way. Because simply saying, because it was the right thing to do, will not be enough for children who do not fully understand that concept. So, those are some ways that teachers could teach prosocial behaviors. Though these undesired behaviors may be difficult to combat, with the proper methods, teachers can not only combat these behaviors, but teach their pupils the proper prosocial morals. Contingent observation and tutoring not only reduces the toy struggles and undesired behaviors, but they are great ways to teach these children prosocial morals. In early childhood and primary education, the students are still trying to grasp the concept of morals and what is morally right and wrong by societal standards. So it is the duty of caregivers to direct the children to do and understand what is right.